lap in that Commodore, I'd like to say there's a lot to it. And the bike's on the track at the moment. The warm-up for the 1000cc B-grade race over 8 laps at Oran Park. And we thought just for a change we'd bring you the aspiring A-grade racers and show you just what sort of form they can show at an international meeting like the Swann Series. These bikes to race over 8 laps of the Grand Prix circuit. They'll be led by Neil Mason on the Suzuki 750. As you can see, most of the machines have chosen to, most of the riders have chosen to use 750cc production and superbike machines. Alan Cunningham on bike 55 is a man that you should well watch. He's an expert in long distance races, riding in the Castrol 6 Hour, and also in events like the Wind Safari from Sydney all the way up to Darwin. Bear of a man.
Just while we're looking at that, could I say that the new lap record holder, nearly 9/10 of a second under Wayne Gardner's record, is Rob McElnay at 1:12.44, and Kevin McGee was 1.11 seconds slower, 1:12.55. The boy is good.
Well, if you don't do anything else in your life, Kevin McGee, you can hang that time on your wall and look at it and feel proud, because that is really flying. In fact, after Surface Paradise, there are a lot of people who are a little bit concerned that maybe Kevin McGee couldn't get up onto Rob McElnay's pace, but has Kevin McGee proved himself today? And it'll be interesting to see, Peter Clifford, whether there's any rabbit left in his hat to pull out for the second round of the Swan this afternoon.
Yes, I'm sure he's got a little bit up his sleeve, and certainly going to be testing McElnay very, very, very hard this afternoon.
They were outside the lap record at Surfers. Boy, have they absolutely torn it asunder here today. These mixed up races up to 1000 cc's mean that you can see all sorts of bikes, Grand Prix bikes of smaller capacities, super bikes, even quick production bikes on some occasions of larger capacities, ridden by B-grade riders. They've come up from either C or D grade. D grade if they start on production bikes, and C grade if they start on road race bikes, and many of them may never move forward from B grade, but for many of them, like Kevin McGee and other people, they go through this Australian grading system that proves so valuable, because for sponsors, they can work their way forward, they can get C and B grade lap records, they can get some achievements, they can know they're going somewhere, because they're not always competing against the very best guys. 83 and 84, Stephen Ellis and Michael Quinn on 84. Ellis, 83, Quinn, 64, tucked in behind them, Magdi Malik, Balmain Motorcycles. 111's Alan Goldsmith, Suzuki 750. Honda 750, 83 Quinn's bike, Suzuki 750. And in the learning process can be some rough riding sometimes in terms of lines, braking techniques and so on. And often some unpredictable performances.
Yes, it's a very interesting contrast to swap from watching one of the most accomplished Grand Prix riders in the world, Rob McElnay, and then one of the best up-and-coming riders, Kevin McGee. We're now watching the guys sort of at the other end of the scale, as it were, the would-be if could-be's, the hopefuls, showing us what they can and cannot do. This is where the talent comes from. And there's somebody in the middle of your picture, 87, just lost his chain, so he won't be going anywhere very far. Chain dragging on the ground as he pushes that rather ancient TZ350 Yamaha towards us. somebody's engine has died. He's trying to push start it. He's
21.
off the track, out of the way.
21 lined up. 8 laps is 21 kilometres around the 2.62 Grand Prix Oran Park circuit.
Oh, rapid
Well
start,
held.
and they stop it. Well done. Scott Williams very keen to get away on the far left of your screen. This time they let it go. And Williams still made a damn good start and may well hold it into the corner, actually, from the outside of the track.
Stephen Adams is in second, but he's being blitzed on 83 by Quinn. 115. Adams back to third, 21's fourth, that's Robert Cardelli. Right, gee, a long time since I've seen Robert Cardelli riding.
And in the background, someone way off in the dirt. That's 192 there.
David Ross.
Did well to recover and get the machine back on the tarmac.
Out wide and making ground if nobody gives him a trip and a touch is 79 Robert Slater.
Williams, in fact, had a dream run in his motorcycle career. First rode at Oran Park only in June last year when he came 14th in a 750cc D-grade race. Was upgraded to C only a month later.
In fact, D-grade's only been introduced down the bottom of, obviously, of C a few years ago for those who start their racing on stock production bikes. Well slotted, Michael Quinn now leads. And indeed is Quinn building up quite a nice lead, but plenty happening in behind him. 213 Scott Williams for Belray Oils is going very well on the Suzuki 750.
But Robert Cardelli on the TZ350 Yamaha, number 21, looking for way up the inside, can't do it that time.
Attacking him on the outside is Stephen Adams, the man who initially led away on 115. Neil Masson slotted in there on 33. And off the bridge.
Round the outside goes number 21 Cardelli, trying for the long outside line, can't do it, has to give way to Scott Williams once again.
Those who have got away slowly, still forging their way through the field as the leader. Michael Quinn surges through on 83. Cardelli's well placed in third and hanging right out 45 close to camera there was Nined Lilja. Yamaha 350 also. Doing a good job here on the Proddy Suzuki. Sees left foot working there as he punched down through the gears. Cardelli's now second. Third, therefore, is Scott Williams, 213. And Lilja, Ninad, his first name on 33, another TZ350 slots up to fourth. He'll probably get up and start punching, I'd reckon, with Cardelli. He's been a regular around the Australian tracks. Lilja, since coming here from Middle Europe about 3 odd years ago.
Cardelli, in fact, is having only his second race since a 2-year layoff. He's doing quite a good job under those circumstances.
Lilja's third now, so it's TZ350 Yamaha. Haven't been made for a long time by the Japanese factory. In second and third place, a former Grand Prix class and World Championship division. Hanging grimly onto them too is Lilja. In there, Neil Masson. Yes, Masson third. Lilja on 45. And the race leader, Quinn. Good battle here for second place. Lilia runs wide in that bunch. Cardelli leads it. Coming up to join it is 73 Lance McInnes.
But a good move from Neil Masson up the inside on the 750 Suzuki. Really good riding from number 33. Big four-stroke heaves the rider up over the bridge in fine style, making a bit of a break for it now.
Lilia up onto Robert Cardelli. Running
up to the dog leg. Someone's got to back out of this.
Oh dear, oh me. Lilia just eligible there to have his front wheel taken right away, but doesn't give up and gets his line in Castrol. Doesn't run out wide in the exit. Hangs on very well. 79 Robert Slater in well placed too.
Certainly some brave riding there from Lilia.
73 Lance McInnes, who's come up to join this bunch and is really now starting to make his presence felt.
Lilia right up onto the ripple strips.
Further back now is Cardelli, 33 Masson, going well. And Lilia there on 45, trying to haul in the production-based bike in front.
And it's very noticeable at 45, Lilia uses all the road, white line to white line.
Oh, and that's the leader down, 83. Michael Quinn has thrown the bike away.
Rider
He's
obviously okay. The bike very second hand.
He's done well to be okay there, actually. Look at what he's done to the padding against the concrete wall.
And it looks as though he hit the last piece of padding too. A bit further down the road and he would have hit the concrete wall directly. And this is now the battle for the lead, we think. Yes.
Lilia goes wide. Now see if the four-stroke can get underneath him and really grunt it down into this corner. Neil Masson takes back over the lead.
And Lilia really fired up. He's had victories in Europe, in his home country, but I don't think he's ever had a win in Australia. And he's deciding it's his time.
And it's an interesting battle now. The big four-stroke against the lighter, more nimble but older 352 stroke. That's the four-stroke in the lead, the two-stroke behind.
I can reliably inform you, Will, that in September 1986, Lynette Lilia in fact won the Formula 2 B grade race at Oran Park.
Trying very hard to repeat that win.
And indeed took a B grade 1000cc race at Bathurst in 1984.
He's put in some very good performances at Bathurst indeed. Over the last couple of years I've watched him there. I think he ran better there in 85 than he did in 86.
Yes, and the Suzuki seems to have the legs down the straight, but on the brakes, the lighter machine, very, very good bit of late braking from Lilia, brings him right back into contention. Now he'll try and go around the outside, uses all the road and that bit of concrete strip, every inch of road, a little bit extra.
It's not actually doing him all that much good, is it? But look at him now, rounding him up on the outside, crashes into the bike. It tells him he's got to get out of the way, otherwise it's just going to be both of us down.
That was, shall we say, determined. Almost using the concrete retaining wall as a berm there to drive over the bridge.
I wonder if he's ever ridden motocross, because he's certainly riding in a motocross style, isn't he?
Going well. Lots of determination, and he's hanging onto the machine pretty well. Just under half the capacity of the bike that he's leading at the moment, but also very much less weight. So both riders doing a great job. Plenty of entertainment from them. 8-lap race, 21 kilometres. They're coming around to complete 7 to get the blue flag to start on their final.
And I wonder what Masson has in hand. He had more speed down the straight on the 750 Suzuki, but he's got an awful lot of ground to make up now.
Well, I'd like to be able to say that Ninad Lilja has paced his race very well and has planned all this, but I honestly think that it's rather fallen in his lap. I mean, he's done tremendously well to get there, but boy, did it take determination.
He's certainly capitalised on it since he got to the front. He's been picking his own lines now, punching on fairly well and built up quite a handy buffer. Neil Masson, second place, 33. Third place is 73. Lance McGuinness. You saw him when he first joined that bunch battling for third place, but he was tail end of about 5. And he's now up into third place. Behind him on 21 is Robert Cardelli, whom you saw up to the 4 earlier, and 213 Scott Williams, who was right towards the front earlier on, has now fallen back to 7th place. Behind 6th place, the early leader, Stephen Adams.
So there you go, race sponsors, with 1 lap to go. You've seen the young talent of Australian motorcycle racing. Hop out with your dollars, get behind them, and turn them into A-graders. As Ninad Lilja comes up to take the checkered flag and win the 1000cc B-grade race at Oran Park after over 8 laps.
And to give you some idea of the 8-lap race time, or of the race time being done in the Swann Series, Ninad Lilja's race time for 8 laps, 4 laps short of the Swan Heat, was longer, 10 minutes, 49.85 seconds, in winning over Neil Masson and Lance McGuinness.
We've still got the second leg of the